it's Ash and Liv, and welcome back to another video. Today is a very requested video. It is how we edit our Instagram photos for free on an iPhone. I've been really wanting to do it for ages now. Ever since we have done Instagram, we've only ever used our iPhone and free apps from the App Store. But recently we have started using Lightroom. After doing our Instagram photos for a few years now, we wanted to upgrade and up our editing skills and feed a little bit. For years we've used free apps from the App Store on our iPhone, so that's what we're going to show you. Obviously it's just easy to go straight to your iPhone and edit your photos. Not everyone can pay for Lightroom, or if it's just a hobby to you guys, you don't really want to go put expenses into editing when you can just do like just as much on your iPhones, and especially if you're just starting off as well. So we hope you enjoy it, and don't forget to go and follow us on all our other social medias, because that's how we like to communicate with you guys. So they'll be linked below, and you can see our Instagram photos. So let's get straight into the video. So before we get into showing you how we edit our photos, we want to just give you a little rundown on how we actually take them. So we do use our iPhone. We have the iPhone 7 Plus, but any iPhone is really quite similar. I'm not too familiar with Samsung's or anything like that. When we're actually taking the photos, we try and look out for good lighting. So if you're taking a selfie, for example, we make sure it's in front of direct sunlight, natural lighting, or ring light, I guess, if you want that. Direct lighting, and preferably like behind a window or something, because if it is literally direct sunlight, in the sunlight, it's too harsh. Very if you're in front of a window, it kind of shades it and just keeps the good lighting. We also usually like to avoid harsh shadows, so like under trees, near trees, poles, buildings. Like if the sun's directly above you, it usually casts a lot of shadows. We try and make sure the weather's good, because if it's a really overcast day, photos can look really gloomy. Now that we use Lightroom, any of that stuff can kind of work well for us, but when you do edit on your phone, that stuff can be hard to work with. So that's a few tips on getting a good photo in general. If it's a selfie, for example, to get a good selfie, try and find what angles work best for you. Try to not hide your face with anything. If it is like a standing photo, we do normally ask whoever's behind the camera to make it look a little below us. So it makes you like elongated in a way. So on this home page here is pretty much all my editing apps. On the third row down, you can see VSCO Cam, Facetune, and Enlight. Those three are the main editing apps I usually go to. I used to use VSCO Cam just for their filters and presets. They can be quite full on. A few months ago, I actually recently stopped using that, and I haven't opened that app in a very long time. So my main app is Enlight. You can see it's on the third row there, right side. So I'm just going to go into that and show you a bit of it. So I usually favorite my photos beforehand that I want to edit. I'm going to show you how to edit this photo because it's got a lot of colour throughout it, and I just think the way I edited this, I really liked it. I usually click the three lines on the right side, and there's a heap of things along there, and the main ones I really only use are canvas, which helps to like crop the photo, image, which has adjust, clarity, and target. Pretty much just canvas and image that I use. So I'm going to crop the photo first, just because sometimes the photo is a bit too large for Instagram. I'm just going to crop it a bit from the bottom, maybe a tiny bit from the top as well. Then I go into image, which is under canvas, and go into adjust, which is now where I pretty much play with all of the colours in the photo and shadows and lighting and everything like that. Firstly, go into basic, which is the first option, and it pretty much plays with the brightness, contrast, exposure. I usually put the brightness up. You need to be careful as well to not go too harsh on things. I usually just play around, go back and forth. I start with brightness and just bring it up a little bit, and then maybe contrast, maybe bring contrast down for now. We might come back to it. You can just see the difference that it makes. So I'm just going to bring it down a bit to just get rid of the dark shadows. And I also usually bring the exposure up, because it just lightens the photo and brightens the colours throughout the photo a bit better. Now you can see that blue square on the right side. If I tap that, it just goes back and forth on the original photo and what you've recently edited. So you can already see a bit of the colours have brightened and softened. Then I go into tools again, which brings me back to the start, and I go into details. So then I play with these a bit. I usually bring structure down, because if you bring it up, you can see it just makes the photos really harsh. So I usually bring that down, and it makes everything a lot softer. As you can tell, I really don't bring it down much at all. I just make things really minimal. I sharpen the photo a lot. Blacks will play with all the blacks in the photo. I might bring it down like 4, which is nothing. And then the shadows will pick up all the shadows in the photo. I usually bring that up because it eliminates as much shadow as possible. And then highlights will pick up all the brightness in the photo and highlight it. So I usually bring that up a tiny bit as well. And now that I've just done all the details of the photo, I'm going to actually go back to basic. And I'm going to bring the brightness down to a 4, bring the contrast to a -4. And then I go into color, and this will just fix a bit of the colors in the photo as well. So saturation, as you can see, if you bring the saturation up, it picks up a lot of yellow tones in the photo. So I don't really like to do that too much, but I am going to bring it up a tiny bit. Put a bit of color in it. Temperature, that fixes like the blues and the yellows in the photo as well. So I'm going to just bring it up maybe 2. So that's basically all I do in adjust for now. I'm just going to do that for now. And then now I like to go into target, and here you can actually just target certain areas of the photo. So for example, if I want to just play with the water, I just click on the water, and if you bring your finger further out of the circle, it just changes how much you're focusing on in the target. So I'm going to focus on the water because I want to make it a little bit more blue. So then I'll go into tone. I'm going to bring that up, and you can just see that lighten the water a little bit. If I contrast it, I usually put the contrast up a bit as well. And then the saturation, I usually bring that up because that makes it look more blue. And then that little symbol with the arrow and the line below it, if I click that, it just confirms what you've just edited. You can continue targeting other areas, but it's just finalized what you've already done. So sometimes I like to zoom in and just fix the shadows under our eyes. So I'm just going to focus on the shadows under our eyes there. So I'll go into tools and then tone, and then just bring it up a tiny bit. As you can tell, if you bring it up, it just lightens all the shadows that I just targeted. I'll just bring it up maybe 12, and you can just see there how it's just eliminated a lot of the shadowing on our face. And I'm going to bring the contrast down as well. I'm just going to leave it with that, and then that's all I really do with playing around with the editing of the photo. Then I sometimes go into adjust again, not for the tools but for the presets. So I like to use some of the presets. All the ADs are what I made myself, and then from dark onwards is their presets. I like AD5, and yeah, I like AD5 because it just adds a lot of blue in the photo and lightens it a lot. Yeah, you can bring it up or down on how strong you want the filter. I'm going to leave it on 75. I really like that. That looks pretty nice. I think this is usually the closest I would get to looking like a Lightroom edited photo. Obviously it's not going to be the same, but it's really good for just a free iPhone. I go up the top where it has the little box and the arrow pointing out the right side, and I usually go to the end, click more. So I copy it to Facetune because I'm going to whiten a lot of the yellow tones in the photo. Yeah, so down there is whiten. I just like to do this just to cancel out a lot of the yellow tones in the background. I'm just going to whiten the bottom of the boat. You can just see that yellow tone is changing. So that's all I'm going to do. You can just see it just changed a lot of the yellow tones in the photo. Made it a lot nicer. So I think that's basically all. I'm just going to save that to my camera roll. Yeah, that is the photo. Okay, so we're going to show you another photo. This one's a bit more closer, and we had really good lighting with this photo. Really good natural lighting. I've kind of explained how it works, so I'm just going to go into adjust again. I pretty much do the same routine. So it's not going to need as much editing though. I might bring the brightness down a tiny bit for this one. I might bring the contrast up a tiny bit, and as you can see, I really don't bring them up drastically. I'm going to bring the brightness up to a 5. So I'll go into tools, details, bring the structure down because that'll soften all the contrast in the photo. I might go back and just put exposure down because I feel like that's too bright. Sharpen it up to 20 mostly. I'm going to bring the blacks up a bit because as you can see, there's a lot of blacks in the photo, so I'm going to bring it up. It's just made a lot of the colors in the photo a lot nicer. So I'm going to bring the shadows up as well because that'll brighten the photo. So yeah, and then the colors in the photo, I'm going to bring the saturation up a tiny bit. Temperature, I'm going to bring that down a bit just to add a bit of blue into the photo. So yeah, as you can see, that's what the photo looks like at the moment, and I'm just going to leave it at that. I think that's really all I need. The lighting and everything in the photo is already really good. I'm just going to play around with the adjust and that's it, and then maybe add a preset from adjust. So I'm going to use one of their presets. I usually go with Mystic, so I'm going to put that at like 30, and then I'm going to go back and fix the filter myself 12. So I'm going to pull the brightness down a tiny bit. And I'm going to go back into the color of the photo, put the saturation up a tiny bit, and bring the temperature up a tiny bit more. I just felt like it flushed a lot of the color out. So yeah, that's basically all I'm going to do for that photo. And then I'm going to copy it to Facetune again, just to whiten out some of the yellow tones in the background. So as you can see on the ceiling there's a lot of green and yellow tones. I'm just going to whiten that. Try to avoid the plants because you don't really want white plants. So that's really all I'm going to do. Yeah, that's really all I'm going to do. You can see I'm just going to show you the contrast from the original to now. And yeah, that's pretty much the difference. And I like the colors in this photo, so I'm going to save that to my camera roll. So before we wrap this up, we just want to quickly show you one more app. It's not an editing app, but it is a really good app. So it's called UNUM or UNUM, not really sure. And basically it just helps you plan out your Instagram feed and what you're going to upload next. Yeah, so you pretty much just, so as you go in it, you can link your Instagram account so it automatically just does everything for you. So as you can see, it's automatically got Ashley's last upload and feed automatically in it. So that's currently what my feed looks like now. Yeah, so we're going to pretend we're going to upload a photo, tap on one of the blank boxes, and we're going to use her edited photo. We're going to drag it to pretend it's going to be her next upload. By uploading that photo, you can plan out what your Instagram feed is going to look like next and if it goes or not. It's a really effective app as well, so it really helps you plan out your feed. And if you just click that squiggly arrow, you can basically just see where your feed looks like from every angle, so you can plan a week's worth of feed if you want. It's a really good app. That's basically how we both edit our photos, or used to edit our photos. It's really good if you're just starting out or you want something affordable and easy to use. It's free and it's easy access on your iPhone, so it's really good. So if you enjoyed it, make sure to give it a like and comment and let us know. Also subscribe, because next week we are starting Mesh Twins Marathon, which is so exciting. We've been planning this for ages now, so we're really excited. So our next upload is going to be the start of it. Hang around for that. Go find us on all our social medias so we can interact with you guys. And yeah, we can't wait to see you guys on our next upload on Monday. Yeah, we're excited for a good week. So we will see you next time. Bye!